Hello, hello, hello. I always see I always see the messages from the end of the previous stream because of the way that my um, chat aggregator thing works. Always funny. Maybe I should just directly continue the conversation from the previous stream every time. And we can talk about the curse some more. Because that actually is what I want to do right now. I want to do a full stream of rambling about the curse because I finished watching it this week. And yeah, really good show. Uh, is there something else I'm supposed to be doing right now? I feel like there's something else that I do at the beginning of every stream that I'm not doing right now. Hmm, not sure. Not sure. Hello, Moist. Hello, Mainong. I don't know how to say. I don't know how to say that. Why is the Pokemon trade? Oh, that is a video game, right? Pokemon trading card game is a video game. I don't remember this at all. Like I don't remember this existing when I was a kid. It really feels like I should have known about this at the time. I knew I had like the Yu-Gi-Oh game. I had like no, I didn't have multiple Yu-Gi-Oh games. Later I knew about the Yu-Gi-Oh PS1 game because of speedruns, but I had the Yu-Gi-Oh game on Game Boy Color, I think. What's up, John? What's up, Don? What's up, Caitlin? What's up, Turtle? It's easy to have weird blind spots as a kid, yeah. Yeah. I think yeah, I'm very curious. Well, we'll get into that later. Moist, thanks for the resub, man. What's up, Jess? Big ups for the Yu-Gi-Oh game on Game Boy. I don't really remember that much about it. I'm not sure if I like didn't get very far into it or what. I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh is just kind of a good game when you're a kid because like there's just so much going on. It's like I mean, it's the same reason why Binding of Isaac and Slay the Spire and all these games that just have like a million mechanics. Like you just have the time to learn. You have the time and the gray matter to learn all of the 1 million mechanics. Uh, and so you just get into stuff like that more easily. I feel like. Yeah, I think I think I saw that on Steam. Maybe I'm thinking about something else actually. Anyway, yeah. What I wanted to do is just spend a stream going through and trying to like compile a list of all the games that I played as a kid, which is not really going to be possible because like I've talked about this before, but like my neighbor had this arcade machine. When I say arcade machine, it's like it, I guess it was like a custom cabinet, but like inside it's just like a computer that had some particular software that was emulating every every arcade game that existed between 1980 and 1995 or something like that. I don't know what it was because I was like 10, but it was something along those lines. But anyway, I played like so many games that I didn't even know. Oh, it looks like my mic is peaking a little bit. Hang on, let me try to fix that. Better. Um, yeah, there were games that I played and I only ever saw the Japanese title. like There was this one baseball game that I've never been able to find. If someone can find this, I will be grateful. But it was like a Japanese baseball arcade game that my friend and I would play like for so many hours. I don't really remember that much about it, even though we played it a lot. But yeah, that was just like everything was in Japanese. The title was in Japanese. I have no idea. I have no idea what that was. It probably didn't, probably never released in the West. Uh, but anyway, I wanted to. I created a list on backlog so that I can add stuff to it. But we can talk about we can try to understand my taste here. We can try to understand where I came from. I guess before I get to like Ocarina of Time and stuff, maybe I should just start with the earliest games I remember playing. As far as I'm aware, this is the first game I played in my life. If you haven't seen this game, I'll try to find the Game Boy version because that's what I had. Does not have sound? Oh, it does. Don't have sound? What? Oh, turn it down a little bit. Um, I don't know why we had this. Like, we also had Tetris, so I wonder if like my dad heard from someone or read somewhere that like these abstract arcadey kinds of games are like, what kids should be playing for their brain or something. I don't know. I'm very curious why we had this because I think we had this in Tetris, and then we had like the games that we had before I even remember like this is some gameplay right here. um, the games we had before I even remember like hearing about any games and like asking for them or going out of my way to try to play them somewhere are this, Tetris, and Link's Awakening, all for the Game Boy. I don't think it had English names. I think it was all Japanese player names and stuff. But yeah, you're in this game. You're like vulnerable when you go out. Is that a good strat? I guess maybe this is a scoring strat or something. I don't know. I don't trust World of Long plays with anything. But um anyway, I had this game. I didn't I don't really remember playing it that much, to be honest. And I'm to this day not convinced that it's the most interesting game in the world when you actually start playing it. But it's pretty cool, it's pretty cool. Um okay. I'll add this to my list. And then Tetris. I'm not gonna worry about the right platform or whatever. And then Link's Awakening. Now this I remember playing a lot. And not getting very far. I was like, okay, first of all, I was like 3. Okay. So like, not DX. I just remember spending so much time in these early areas. But I was like, this was probably good gameplay. Like being, this was probably good gameplay for me when I was like 3. Being stuck in the first 3 areas of this game for like 20 hours. I don't know. It feels like 20 hours in hindsight. I'm not sure how long it actually was. It was probably in pretty short spurts, though. I'm guessing my mom wouldn't have let me like sit and play games for hours on end at that age. I'm not sure though. Curious what I was stuck on. See, like, when it gets to the point... Oh! I think I got, when I was a kid, I think I got maybe past the first dungeon into this part. Did I get stuck on this? That doesn't really seem like something I'd get stuck on. I don't know, it's hard to put myself in the mind of a 3-year-old. Anyway, this game, you know, it's got the vibes. It's got the vibes, and that's the main thing that matters. Okay. Can't spend all day watching watching footage of all these games. Okay. And then I guess I had Pokemon Red and Blue next. I'm not sure about the exact chronology. I can't remember which one I had either. I had Blue. Let's be methodical here. Did I have Blue? I think I had Red. Okay. I played a lot of these games. I remember being on swim team and everyone had a Game Boy with Pokemon when we went to the swim meets. Probably stuck on reading, yeah. True. But I could read pretty well. I could read pretty well by the time I played that, I think. But maybe I just like skipped through something without reading it, or like just like read it and then didn't play the game for like a month and then had to remember what I was told before. And you found out you were colorblind because you got Pokemon Red and couldn't see the red pixels on the green Game Boy screen. You couldn't see the color on the non-colored Game Boy screen. Did I ever have a Mankey? Yeah, I don't remember what the exclusives were, and I don't know. I don't remember what I had. I do not remember what I had. I remember though that I didn't really get stuck. I don't know if these games were just super well designed for kids to be able to get through them without help, or maybe I just had enough friends who were friends to talk to about it, but like, yeah, I don't really remember ever being stuck in the Pokemon games. I think maybe I remember helping people get unstuck at swim team or something, but I got Nintendo Power Magazine later. That will come later in the story that we're going through here. Okay, did I add this to the list? Yes. What else? I'm trying to think what else I had on the Game Boy, because that might have, I don't know. There might be other Game Boy stuff I'll come back to later, but this is the first non-Game Boy game, or not Yoshi's Island, Yoshi's Story. Which I feel like this game is pretty I feel like this is maybe not so good of a game in hindsight. Let's try to. I think I saw this. I think I saw this at a friend's house, at a neighbor's house, before I got an N64. Did I add my first game ever? Yes, I did. Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons are on the Game Boy Color. Maybe that would still be before. When was Game Boy Color? Like 2000, right? 1999, 1998 in Japan, 1999 in the US probably. So that would be after. That'd be after I got an N64, I think. Certainly after I played a few N64 games at my neighbor's house. I'm trying to put myself. This is a really long intro, dog. Trying to put myself in the mind of someone who has never played a game like remotely like this before. It's probably so insanely mind-blowing. Berenstein Bears moment. I mean, you can imagine how you were mistaken about that, though. Whereas Berenstain. I guess I can imagine how everyone was mistaken about that as well. Now that I think about it. Anyway, but yeah, it's the Demon's Souls issue, the Demon's Souls issue, where people I've seen people get like legitimately mad that that game has an apostrophe s because it like I don't know, it's like hard to make that clear when you're saying it, I guess. Got him. I don't really remember this. I probably didn't see the game from the very beginning. I don't think I ever owned this game. So I probably saw some random level. Incredible sound effect. I think maybe I saw like the stage 2. This vibe seems more familiar. Anyway. Played this some amount. And then I played, this is the other game I played at the same neighbor's house. Get ready. If you haven't seen this before, hardest track in the game. I think this game was actually really hard, if I recall correctly. Let's not skip to the hardest track in the game. They always hang out at the title screen forever. I didn't even like know what Star Wars was at this point, I feel like. This is cinema. How does this camera work? It's just like I don't know, I find that really funny. Okay. Wait, do you have to like walk around? I do not remember any of this. Oh, you're not walking around, you're just... Oh, okay. We're just selecting. I am really bad at remembering like the details of this kind of stuff. I remember the vibe, that's all. Incredible. Was this game good at all, or did I just think it was good because I'd never played a racing game before and I was going fast? There's a really big number on the screen, so it's probably a really good game. The physics are pretty weird. It holds up? Let's skip to the hardest, or let's just skip ahead a little bit. Oh, does it have like F-Zero kind of stuff, or was that just him running into a wall?
It's working! It's working!
No, I didn't mean 35. Wait. There was like a 600 on the screen, on the bottom right or something. Apparently there's some really funny thing at the end of every race or something. Maybe that's only in a certain mode, and this is the story mode or something. No, we're not. Look, we're putting our pretentious game critic selves aside for today, and we're trying to get into the mind of a 5-year-old playing these games for the first time.
Back again, huh?
Just the sound design in general is really funny. Okay, what else? What else? I don't know what else I played before I actually got an N64. But then I got an N64. I'm probably like 4 or 5 at this point. Probably 5 at this point. I got this bad boy. We're almost there. We're very close. We're very close, John. Hello, Kuroshi. Good to see you, my friend. Pretty sure I cried the first time I saw it. Like getting carried to the spooky castle. What are y'all talking about? Oh, the death screen. The death screen for for Yoshi? Was that for Yoshi's? I missed that, sorry. How's it going, Sam? Good to see you. Anyway, I don't remember that, but I'm not gonna play it right now. Okay, did I add this? Y'all all know Mario 64. Again, this one feels like it worked really well for me as a kid. Can we analyze why it works so well? Maybe people have probably already written about this and stuff. Not sure if anything needs to be said about Mario 64. I have a hard time distinguishing like things that they actually intentionally did with the world design and the art and stuff like that versus just the fact that it was a really popular game. Like, okay, the fact that I was like so curious about how can I get on top of the castle and are there other secret paintings I can get into and what else, what have I was so curious about the stuff I hadn't found. How much of that is like they really designed the game well for me and how much of it is just I was a kid and hadn't played games before and also like my friends I probably knew people who were playing it and talked to them about it and stuff. Bro, the scary one for me was the Majora's Mask title screen. Despite that being my favorite game ever when I was a kid. It was just like too it was almost like the THX, right? You guys know what I'm saying. It was almost like the THX but scarier. It's like they were inspired by the THX thing and and they they discovered that the THX thing was accidentally scary to children and so they were like how do we do something like this but it's actually like intentionally scary. Wait, Shrek. Wait, some 64 mods playing a Shrek. Um no, yeah, Yoshi was on the roof, right? Like that was real. I didn't dream that. I didn't make that up. Um Shrek just reminded me though. I got to remember to do I'll just go ahead and add it. What's the Shrek game for the Game Boy? Uh or Game Boy Color? Is this Game Boy Color? No. No. Shrek Shrek Smash and Crash Racing. I don't think it's that. Fairy Tale Freakdown? That sounds familiar. I think I had this. Let me try. Any anyone else? Anyone else with me on this one? Oh yeah. I had a bunch of these like movie action platformer. I guess this is more of a fighting game. I think I did like beat this game. I wonder, I guess it was like pretty easy. This game is awful. The controls clunky and moving the characters where you want them to go is a chore. There's zero replay value unless you're dying to try out those extra characters you unlocked. I mean, wouldn't you be though? There's not even platforms. Why are there no platforms? Is it just all I guess you could say that this is platforms, but wait, you just fall into the oh man. This game did not look this horrible in my memory, but I guess it didn't look that horrible like on a physical Game Boy Color just because the pixels weren't so chunky and stuff. You gotta remember that, but still, it's pretty rough. Yeah, I remember fighting this guy, whatever his name is, the bad guy. Okay, I gotta add that before I forget. Okay, where were we? I played Mario 64. I think no, I didn't get Star Fox 64 until later. Did I have Donkey Kong 6? What year was Donkey Kong 64? Smash 64? I feel like I would have gotten that a little bit later. This is not until 1999. Okay. Maybe it was Ocarina of Time next. I swear I had another N64 game though. Early N64 games. I had at least one more N64 game. I don't think I had Mario Kart 64. Did I though? Pilot Wings? No. My neighbor had Wave Race. Let's add that. I don't really remember very much about this one, but I did play it. I didn't have GoldenEye. I never played very much GoldenEye. I think John, you guys had GoldenEye, right? But I never really played it, I don't think. Farquad, thank you. Bomberman 64? I played that at a friend's house at some point, but I didn't have it. I don't know, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I just had Mario Kart. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, I got Ocarina of Time. And this, ignore my adult me rating of the game. Oh, I already added it. This is. I mean, I like Majora's Mask more, but the two of them together are like. I feel like I just played them at the perfect age, and got completely immersed in them to the point where they were like more real than my real life. And I was like thinking. I remember sitting like in church. I remember sitting in school, like thinking about these games as I was like playing through them, and yeah, just like the most compelling like no other like fantasy setting in any media could ever be as compelling to me ever again after after like getting so lost in these games for years. Surprised OOT has a higher average score than SM64. Well, you have to. I think even if it were like at the time, you know, Metacritic, I think is the same, but especially today, I think people don't look back on SM64 quite as highly. You know, everyone still thinks Ocarina of Time is the greatest thing ever, whereas SM64, there's a lot of people who like play it now for the first time and are like, oh, the camera, you know, or whatever. It's also yeah, I don't think the casual experience holds up compared to look, Mario 64 versus Mario Odyssey, gameplay wise, I think there's less of a gap, like for the completely casual experience. Okay, I'm not talking about like I'm talking about like you're between 5 and 10 years old and you're playing the game for the first time, right? I think there's less of a gap, but there's less that's super special about Mario 64 specifically compared to like Odyssey or something. Whereas Ocarina of Time, there's a lot that's really special about it compared to Breath of the Wild if you're playing it for the first time, you know, like as a kid. Mario Party. I didn't have it. I didn't have it, but I played a lot of it at people's houses. Bubsy and Croc. Man, this is gonna take forever if I actually want to make make this list comprehensive because I played no, I didn't play Bubsy, but I played Croc. Okay. Wait, oh, Pokemon Snap. That's another one that I didn't have that one, but I oh wait, this is later, I guess. Anyway, I played this at my neighbor's house later, I guess. Um but yeah, Ocarina of Time was fundamental. Smash 64, when did that come out? Okay. Super Smash Bros. 1999. Yeah. I was kind of a lonely gamer though. This is an essential thing. Okay, part of why I'm doing this is to understand my own taste, right? And this is definitely a defining thing. An important thing for me to understand about my own taste is that I did not have people to constantly play games with. I didn't have siblings who were into games. I had a younger sister who didn't really care about games. I did, like I said, I played games at neighbors' houses, and I guess when I got a little bit older, I had more. But yeah, multiplayer games were never quite as compelling to me. But I remember playing Break the Targets. Like, I remember playing a lot of Break the Targets by myself. I didn't have a PS1. Again, I played PS1 game. I remember playing some Casper the Friendly Ghost game on the PS1 at someone's house. Is this it? I'm honestly not sure, but I'm gonna add it to the list anyway. Um, what else? What else would I have played on the PS1? Maybe nothing for quite a while. Like later I played Final Fantasy VII and stuff, but where was I? Let's go ahead and add Majora's Mask. Majora's Mask again. I was like the perfect age for and have so much nostalgia for. I didn't. I think I think I got stuck in Ocarina of Time more because I was so much younger. Um, and so that experience I was describing of the world being so real to me and me thinking about the game all the time when I wasn't playing it and all that. I don't think I had that quite as much with Majora's Mask, but I got so obsessed with like the side quests. Yeah, I don't know that Majora's Mask like does such a good job of like pulling you into the world with the gameplay. The the fact that everything, you have the clock and you have NPCs that are moving around on an actual schedule, and you can actually try to there's a little bit more of a sense of like this being a real place where things are happening, and you can kind of there's a voyeurism vibe a little bit, right? You can follow the NPCs around and try to figure out what's going on. And yeah, I got really excited about that. I also didn't know that there was like a notebook that tells you the schedules of all the of all the NPCs. So I just like brute forced it, but I was really into that. And yeah, both I think Ocarina of Time also has great vibes. I think, you know, the Majora's Mask vibes are a lot more overt at times, but yeah, they both really really stay with you. So the bangers on N64 were 1999 plus, probably true. Is that an age rating? Is that the Peggy 1999 plus? Um you guys remember, I remember getting speaking of that, I remember getting Star Fox 64, and it doesn't show this. It doesn't show on this art, but it had KA. It was rated KA for kids to adults. What was the point of that? I don't know. I'm not gonna look at this right now. But what is the point of that when you already have E for everyone? Is it supposed to be an in between one, or they should have called it they should have called it Boys to Men? It's like, is it supposed to mean that it like is it supposed to mean that it like this game will turn you into a real man? Oh, they didn't have E for everyone? They later had E10 plus, and then they got rid of that too. Anyway, not the point. Not the point. I played this. What else did I play? My brain is skipping ahead to Simpsons Hit and Run for some reason. We're going off the rails. I think I played that other Simpsons game as well. Okay, but this is like, oh, here's another defining thing for my taste. I I was not allowed to play M games. I was not allowed to play M games until I was like 16. I played some, I played Halo at friends' houses. I played like later I played like Gears of War at friends' houses, and there was some like light gun. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I couldn't play like Resident Evil games at the time. I couldn't play uh I think Resident Evil was like the big one that I always really wanted to play. But, I'm sure there are a lot of things. Okay. But yeah, anyway, the reason I started saying that is because Simpsons Hit and Run is obviously like GTA, but it's The Simpsons. But low key, I wonder if it's better. Like, let's. I don't know. I have a lot of nostalgia for this one. Right? Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Having an older sibling would have helped here. Also, just like when you're the oldest, your parents are like too serious about, you know, too serious about raising you correctly or something. At least if you have parents like mine. I'm sure there's a lot of variety there, but yeah. But yeah, this was just so awesome when I played it. Like I just hadn't. It's important to remember. Like GTA 6 is coming out soon. It's 2026 now. GTA 6 is coming out soon, and I couldn't give a single shit about it, right? But uh, it's important to remember what it was like to like play a game like this for the first time.
1 dozen of your best Tijuana toilet crackers, my good
You can just go around wherever you want. You can drive around. You can hit people.
Throw your hand off. Or do. What do I care?
Rayman. Okay, good shout. Good shout. I had Rayman. I later played Rayman 1, but I had Rayman 2 The Great Escape. I think we rented this game from Blockbuster and I played it all the way through. Shout out Blockbuster. I don't know if I would say this is formative for me. I might have played it a little bit later though. I probably played it a little bit later because I don't think I went to Blockbuster until I was. I wonder if we convinced my parents to take us to Blockbuster because of the games or if they were just going for their own sake. Jack 3, well Jack 2 was the more GTA one, right? Oh, it was okay. The 3 is a number 3, but the 2 is a Roman numeral. Okay. I played that, but this is so much later. This is so much later. But we're completely out of whack at this point. Jack 3. Jack 3 was like this is the one that I'll go ahead and add Jack and Daxter as well. Um I've said this before, but like Jack and Daxter is like the more bulletproof game. Like it's just a quality like 3D collectathon kind of platformer. But Jack 3 was the one. Jack 3 had some kind of soul to it that really I don't know. I thought it was really cool that you could fly. The flying is probably so stupid. I haven't looked back at this. Um Okay, this is where you get the flight, I think.
Hit this first.
This is the flying.
Oh, we can make it. Awesome.
But I guess what made it cool was just that you didn't have it before, right? Like if you had flight from the beginning of the game. And not just in this game you didn't have it before, but like you've played 2 whole games and a half or however deep into this game this was. And then you suddenly can fly. I don't know, that was somehow mind-blowing to me. Maybe this is why I never got into Metroidvanias that much, because I was blown away by the fact that you get a flight ability in Jack 3, but then I was over it. Actually, though, I did have did I play a Metroidvania? What's going on here? I played Metroid Zero Mission, which I've heard people say is like the worst remake ever. When I was a kid, it was awesome, but haven't revisited it. They hold up much more so than Spyro slash Ratchet. I never really played Ratchet and Clank. I think I like saw a little bit at a friend's house. But yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah, I think I actually played a little bit of the Jack games when they came out on that like collection on the PS3. And yeah, I would say they all hold up well. I still feel like the first one is the more like bulletproof, straightforward, right down the middle kind of design. Although that makes it sound more like generic than it is. Like it's got its own identity. But yeah, Jack 2 I feel like is my least favorite because it just kind of feels like it's trying to do GTA too much. You like get guns and stuff. And then 3 they kind of managed to own that and do something that felt fresh with it that didn't really feel like GTA, even though it still had all that stuff from 2. That's how I remember it. Um you thought the character of Rayman was so cool, but you never played it. Oh, wait. I also played Rayman 3. I don't think this game was good at all. I couldn't get into it for some reason. Oh, the reason? No, wait. This is on the Wii U and Game Boy Advance. Am I? Oh, Rayman 3 Hoodlum Havoc. Yeah, okay. I had this on PC. What happened? My dad got it because it was cheap at Costco or something. I don't know. But I tried to play it and I don't know. I didn't play a lot of games on PC. Maybe I was having some kind of graphical issue or something. Favorite light gun from childhood? It would just be like whatever was at Dave and Buster's. I don't even remember. House of the Dead, is that a light gun game? I was never crazy about the light gun games, to be honest. It would be House of the Dead 2, maybe? Or House of the Dead Overkill or something like that. House of the Dead Overkill. Oh, this is later. House of the Dead 2. Yeah, I mean, I played this. Dave and Buster's or like wherever they have like a few arcade machines, like at the movie theater or something. But I never had like a light gun, a home light gun thing. I had the home DDR pad at some point. We'll get to that maybe. I had a Tony Hawk game that was for the N64. No. I didn't have a Tony Hawk game for the N64. Did I? I think I mean, I played Tony Hawk. That's another one I played at other people's houses. Tony Hawk, Pro Skater. I probably played all of them at different times, but I definitely played the original. No, I mean, I definitely played all of them. Am I gonna add all of them right now? Wait. Oh man, I probably played all of these games. Let's just. I definitely played all of these games. We're just gonna add them all. And this is probably not even it. Like I played American Skateland on the DS, I think is what it's called. I'll try to find that in a second. But yeah, all of these like run together in my mind. Like the Pro Skater ones, I only played at friends' houses, so they kind of run together. I had Underground. Can't remember which one I had. I think I had this one, Underground 2. And then I had American Wasteland. Wait. Okay. Actually, here's my problem. Here's my problem. I didn't get that deep. I never got that deep into the Tony Hawk games because oh man. What's it called? Can anyone can anyone predict what I played instead? What I played instead that is very similar to. I'm very curious if anyone knows about this. Very similar to the Tony Hawk games, but not. It's not BMX Dave Mira. I don't know if I ever played that. That sounds like something I might have played at your house, actually. Snowboard game. I'm having a great Saturday. Thank you, Fishy. Snowboarding. You guys, you guys are not ready. I forgot about this, man. I forgot about this. Yo, I forgot, man. This level was iconic. Oh, he turned the music off for the YouTube video. Bro. I'm trying to remember what the I'm trying to remember what the music was, but it was like, you know, pop punk stuff, I feel like. Or maybe it was cuz it wasn't Disney stuff, I don't think. I think it was like, you know, kind of similar direction to like what they did with the Tony Hawk games music, but like a little more kiddie, probably. Maybe a lot more kiddie. I don't really remember. Yes, Misa. I forgot about both of those. We'll get back to those. We'll get back to those. Anyway, this was literally Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, but with the Disney characters. And I played so much of this. What year was this? 2003. I guess I just didn't really... I mean, I was 10 at this point. But yeah, I guess I just didn't really know about the Tony Hawk games until later. But yeah, I remember playing a bunch of them. Maybe just I didn't get deep into any of those Tony Hawk games because I only played them in short bursts at friends' houses. Thanks, Samp. We gotta skip ahead. There's like a big open world and stuff. Oh, is it only gonna show the... It's only showing like the individual levels though. I wanna see the... Oh, here we go. Hollywood. Oh wait, that's not even... Oh yeah, yeah. Who are these characters, man? Yeah, I remember watching the speedrun at one point. It feels pretty lame without the music. But this game was so awesome. For me, when I hadn't played Tony Hawk before. I wonder if there's something about... But yeah, this is also like not... Is it not so much an arcadey thing? Yeah. I think this was probably easier for me to get into as a kid because it wasn't like timed, or was it?
Find it. And he doesn't want to jump down.
I don't know, not that I like didn't play any like difficult or like time sensitive. I guess there were time sensitive things, but they were really small. It wasn't like Tony Hawk where the whole round is timed. Yeah, I think I was just like more... I think my first love was like exploration-y kind of games. And so this maybe appealed to me more than Tony Hawk because it felt like I could just go around and explore the levels first and foremost. I'm not sure. It's Kingdom Hearts with Tony Hawk. Yeah, kind of. Also a very formative game for me. This game, I mean, I feel like you can tell from this, right? Like from the poster. I don't know, it just has that it just has that I'm 10 years old kind of soul to it. But yeah, I got this. Okay. So we got a PS2. We kind of lost the plot here at some point. I kind of let things slip away from me in terms of telling a linear story of my game's taste progression or something. But at some point, probably around 2002, we did get a PS2, even though we already had a GameCube. I think we got a PS2 as like a DVD player or something. But I got Final Fantasy X, and I think that was my first Final Fantasy game to like play a significant amount of. I had seen someone playing 9 before that. I never got super deep in this game though. I'm trying to I think I was I'm trying to remember, like, was I really already burnt out on JRPG gameplay at this point in my life? Cuz I never managed to sit through a Final Fantasy game. Okay, so let's back up more and try to figure out what JRPGs I played before this point. Would Golden Sun have been before this? It would have been before I got it, I think. I think I must have played this like when it came out. And this, I think I probably played both of these before I played Final Fantasy X. What else? I mean, I guess Pokemon. The Pokemon games are JRPGs, so maybe I was already I was already over it. Golden Sun Exposition Slop. See, I don't really remember. I don't remember that much about it. Let's dig into Golden Sun a little bit. A lot of this stuff is just so bad, man. Like, I don't know. I tolerate it a lot. But like, I don't remember that at all. You know, like this is. I only remember the vibes. Like I said, and I feel like the vibes were pretty peak. Yo, I'm pretty sure I had that Mario Golf game. And hang on, man, I don't remember the combat being like this at all either. What in the world? Skipping ahead. Yeah, I definitely played these games all the way through. I remember that. I remember being invested in the story. I don't know if this was like the first JRPG story I experienced or what, but what was I? I was thinking of a few different things at once. This is hard. But yeah, Mario Golf. I had some Mario Golf game on the or did I have the Game Boy one? Is this Game Boy web browser? Mario Golf. N64. I didn't have it on N64. Yeah, maybe I had Mario Golf Advance Tour. That seems right. That was kind of fire. I don't know how people remember this kind of stuff. Gaia Rock in the Lost Age. I mean, I don't. That means nothing to me. Oh yeah, the other thing I was thinking about is Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem I played. Fire Emblem. GBA. I know it's like the seventh one in the actual series. But this is the first one that came out in the West, I think. And I got it around the time it came out, maybe like 2002 or something. It doesn't say in the description, I don't think. Oh, 2003. Okay, so I was like 10, and yeah, I got really into like, um, I like, I did the No Man Left Behind strat in this game, which was not the way that you should play it. Yeah, I played Sacred Stones as well, but maybe this is also why I like was not into JRPG gameplay that much. I don't know. It's not like this is that much deeper than like normal JRPG. This is. I'm not saying this is JRPG, by the way. But yeah, I guess you can't really compare this kind of strategy combat thing to JRPG combat. God. But yeah, I remember being surprised when you could like recruit characters and stuff like that. That was interesting. Were there like missable characters in this one? Or is that only later? Did I play Glover? I don't think I did. I saw some Advanced Wars, but yeah, Advance Wars. Yeah. I don't think I ever had an Advance Wars game. Or yeah, I didn't play that much of it. I also like I don't know, I guess Advance Wars is kind of different from Fire Emblem, but I like burned myself out on these games so hard by like playing through this entire game and a good chunk of Sacred Stones without sacrificing any characters, just like reloading the the mission every time, which is just painful. I don't know, probably there are strategies to do it well, but when I was a kid I was stupid, so. Is this is this a tutorial at this part of the game? I'm just trying to remember what this combat was actually, or this gameplay was actually like. Okay, so yeah, there was like a rock paper scissors system with the weapons, and then there's like choke points, and then there's like ranged attacks, and then enemies just like spawn out of nowhere and kill you, and you have to like play the mission multiple times to really like know everything that's coming, which felt kind of cheap, but I guess it's fine since you're supposed to just accept that you're gonna lose characters, which I just refuse to accept. Anyway, played a lot of Fire Emblem. Played Fire Emblem 2003, and then I played Sacred Stones. I played Path of Radiance, but I didn't get very far because I was super burnt out. And then they had Radiant Dawn, which I think, despite the fact that I didn't get very far in Path of Radiance, I got Radiant Dawn and played like an hour of it probably. Lover, no. I never played Superman 64. I played some Spider-Man game. PS1 Spider-Man, maybe? Yeah, I was thinking about that question. Like, is it bad game design, TM? Is it bad game design, TM, that you're making a game for kids and you're just expecting them to be okay with like, well, I don't know. It depends. I guess it depends on the kid. Some kids are like going to intentionally kill off their their team. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I was just it's just a perfectionist thing. Perfectionist tendencies. Yeah, kids need to watch my Where's My Egg review and accept death. And then they can and then they can enjoy Fire Emblem. Okay. Oh, did I play any shmups as a kid? I'm not really okay. I played like Galaga at a pizza place or something. Trying to think what else I would have played. What other shmups? People said they played like Raiden at random places. I never saw that. Um, Play any edutainment games? But yeah, sorry, I'll get back to that. I think with shmups, I just wasn't really exposed to that. Like I was a console kid, and then I got into PC games when I was like 16 or something, and then I got into Steam and stuff like that. But like shmups were not a big thing on Steam, so I didn't really get into shmups until quite a bit later. Like I don't know. I'm sure I played some other stuff, but like I explored shmups a little bit more deeply when like the Electric Underground started popping off in like 2020 or something. Or iPad cabinets? Wow. Yeah, I don't think I ever saw that. I'm trying to remember what educational games I had. Also, okay, let me stick with the shmups thing for a second because I'm really curious. Like, I must have played some kind of dodging games. Okay, let me. I remember. I remember like playing Super Meat Boy, which is at least like a little bit adjacent in terms of like you have to dodge a bunch of stuff sometimes. Um, and there is like routing to it. Of course, it's like a level based thing, but you are eventually like it wants you to like go through the long thing. This is the first time that I played like a truly hard platforming level. Like they had hard stuff in this game. Super Meat Boy. Uh, what's like the part where you unlock the kid? How to unlock the kid? Yeah, so I didn't know what I want to be the guy is or anything, but you have to do this. Okay, so first of all, you're doing your normal like Meat Boy platforming, which looks like this. But then you find the warp zone, and suddenly you're in this level controlling the kid, who I guess he just has a double jump. Is that the only thing that's different? I remember being surprised that it was, you know, you're controlling a different character. But like some of these got like kind of hard for me. They're probably not that hard if I were to go back to them now. Like they're probably not as hard as like Toby Alden's Love or some Sylvie stuff that I've played, but I remember being in this sequence. I think it gets a little harder from here. No, I guess that's it. Maybe it's not this sequence I was thinking about. There's some sequence in Super Meat Boy though that I was stuck on for like hours. And this is when I was probably like 13 by this point or something. Rapture Dark World. Let's see. This is like one of the normal levels. Yeah, what I'm thinking about is definitely like a side thing. Yo, okay. Okay. Hang on. Totally missed this. Totally missed this. Okay. So yeah, my dad, I guess I'm not sure if it was my dad's work computer or what, but I did play a few games on the computer. This was probably before I got an N64. And then I don't think we had the second game, but my neighbor had it and I played it. I played it a good bit. The real peak in Pajama Sam was the cheese and crackers game. Oh, that's what you were thinking of with edutainment? I was thinking more like the games that I played at school in the computer lab. They had like, you know, I don't know what it would I have no idea how to find it, but it's like you're climbing a tower and you like do equations and stuff to climb the tower. And there was also like a typing, you know, learn to type by like going to different planets and you're typing like the capitals of different states in the United States or something for some reason. Uh what was the other thing I was thinking of? Oh yeah, I also played this at school. 1971. I guess it's the 85. Which version is it? I guess it's the 85 version, yeah. Nice image. Metanet Software's End 2004. Yeah, I played that when I was like 16 or something. We won't skip ahead that far. Bugdom? Bugdom? I have no idea what that is. Actually, I will search in case it is the one that or one of the ones I was thinking of. What? It's a 3D game? Curious what the reviews are like for this. Buck Bumble didn't ever know about it until like pretty recently, actually. Uh, did I turn off the noise canceling? I don't think so. I think the noise canceling just only works when I'm not talking, though. I don't know. Okay. Okay, let's try to get back on track with like let's go back to like before I got the GameCube. I would have gotten the GameCube in like 2000 early 2002, I guess. I probably got the PS2 later than I was thinking. Probably got the PS2 in 2004 or 5 even. I didn't really play the Kirby games that early. I played actually I did play this. I think we rented this. But I don't I remember not really being inspired by it. I did not find this that interesting even as a kid. Just found Fisher Price ready for school. Yo, I'm very curious if I played this. Full walkthrough. Thank God. I was never gonna get through this. I don't think I played this.
You spelled
This is not familiar to me. Yo, also okay, here's another early PC game that I had. Hang on, before I get back to the N64 games that I had uh yo, we need the OG. Is this the OG? This is the OG. I guess this is this the same publisher as Pajama Sam? I didn't even realize that.
What am I supposed to do again?
The Proto Ball and Gun Gamer Slop. Oh, you just said it. You just said it. Nice.
Should have let that one go.
Let's go. We're on the same wavelength. Yeah, I had I think I had baseball and my neighbor had soccer. This one actually came out earlier, I guess. I remember playing this one a lot more actually than baseball. I was a ball and gun gamer from day one, guys. I'm sorry. Yo, Gretchen? Wait, what is going on? Nina played this on her subathon? Nice. I remember Nina saying something about these games recently for some reason. What is Zoom Beanies? I don't think I know that. Is this Lemmings? Oh man, I just remembered another really early one. No idea what's going on. I just remember two early PC games that I had. Okay. Wait, let me add. I'll just go through this YouTube thing afterwards. Backwards after the stream. I'll go through this backwards and add all of them to my list. You guys don't care about me adding all these to my list. Lego Island, I think. I played a lot of this one actually. Was this game like low-key fire? I don't know. It didn't feel like Myst.
Love two-wheelers. Remember, if you ever want to get off, just move your hands off.
I don't know what it did feel like, but it didn't feel like Myst. I mean, obviously it looks kind of like that.
You're under arrest. Oh, it's you. You're not under arrest. But wait, I'm watching you. You're probably here to build the helicopter. Well, it's about time. For lunch.
I think just like a lot of crazy stuff happened. Where did the smooth jazz come from, man?
Or should I say paper? That's how you spell it, don't you?
This is the original Dark Souls letting the guy out of the...
Read too well. Hey, read this.
This is really bringing back memories. The music is just all over the place. That's wild. This kind of feels like the original like ADHD game.
Island's tastiest comestibles. Click on the pizzeria. Someone will show you what to do.
I think they were ahead of the curve in like the jingling lots of different keys in front of my face in quick succession. I mean, what is going on here? Okay, the other one that I just remembered is, I don't know if anyone's gonna know this one. I feel like I've tried to talk about this before and no one had any idea. No one had any idea what I was talking about. I have no idea where this came from, why we got this. But I played this with my dad because I didn't like understand. I think I must have been. It might have been like when this came out, so I would have been like 4, like 3 or 4.
What do you want? You're the boss.
This was like kind of an RTS, I guess, but like, no, it's not. I don't think there's time pressure, is there? Maybe there is. I guess there is. There's this blue bar is ticking down. But yeah, you had to like, I think you had to like go like build bridges and like explore, like get to new areas, and then you had to like build a base there and like send your guys out. I don't know. I don't really remember what the vibe was. I honestly have no idea what this game was. But this is some science right now. We've progressed to stone. We got a different soundtrack in. We got a different song in each of my ears right now. You guys probably can't. I don't know if we have stereo audio in the stream or not. Probably.
Let's go.
Okay, if you guys have stereo audio, please confirm for me that this is insane.
It's finished. Let's go. Hi. Let's go.
I just can't believe what's going on there with the music. Impressions, City Builders? No, I didn't. Okay, other N64 games. There are definitely more N64 games that I played a lot of. Star Fox 64. I will say, I don't think I really understood the structure of this game as a kid. So I didn't really get into like doing, getting good ranks and, figuring out the best route and stuff like that. But I played through it a few times. Yeah, I was not... I'm not sure why. I have always found it a little bit annoying that in games like this or like Space Harrier or whatever, your ship is blocking like the part of the screen that you most want to see at any given time. I always found that annoying, but it probably wouldn't have stopped me from playing a game when I was a kid. So I'm curious why I didn't really get crazy into this as a kid.
I guess I should be thankful.
I don't know. Are these like shmup bombs? Or what? Like, do they work like shmup bombs where they just get you out of a bad situation? I never played Civilization until Civ 5. Gauntlet Legends. Okay. I think I played this one. Was this would this have been on GameCube? Oh no, N64. Is this the one that I played? This looks not good from this perspective, whatever this perspective is. I was expecting the perspective to be a little bit more like the original Gauntlet. I don't know if I played this. I played some Gauntlet game around this time. I don't think it was this one. There's also so few enemies compared to Gauntlet, if I'm recalling correctly. Okay, Spider-Man 64. That might have been the one I was thinking of. I just remember swinging around, you know. Sure if I played this one or not. Did I ever play Sonic or Mega Man? The first, okay. The first Sonic game I played was... Not Sonic Rush, but like I didn't play a Sonic game for a while. I didn't know anyone who had like Sega console. I knew one kid on my street who like didn't. He was like a lot older, and I didn't really talk to him very much, so I didn't really ever hang out at his house. But he had I think he had a Sega Saturn when that was a thing. But yeah, I didn't really spend a lot of time playing Sega stuff. No, not the Olympic, not the Mario and Sonic at the Olympics. Okay. So is there like a Sonic Advance? Is that what it's called? It's like a remake of... Is it a remake? I kind of thought one of these were like partial remakes of the original Sonic games or something. I can't remember. But I think I played this and then Sonic Advance 2 and then Sonic Rush for the DS. And they were like... They were alright. I guess. I'm sure these are not the beloved Sonic games. But I don't know. I kind of never really got into Sonic, but maybe I was just too old by the time I. Okay, but yeah, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle I did have. And for some reason, I'm so curious, like, why. I'm curious why this is, but like, I spent so little time playing the actual levels. I beat the whole game, but I spent so little time playing the actual levels compared to the time that I spent in the Chow Garden. And I'm just. Is that just one of these like numbers go up appeal type of things? I don't know. Soundtrack was fire though. The grinding on the rails was such a big appeal. Chow Garden is pure magic. Has tons of mechanics. I remember being amazed when it this was very memorable. But in hindsight, like, what is this? Why am I like, I can't see where I'm going at all. I can't make any intelligent decisions about what's happening right now, you know? Also, why does it say gun on it? Why does the truck say gun on it? It's oddly deep for a pet raising minigame. Let's see if they have any of it here.
Yes!
But yeah, I remember being really surprised when I started getting the weird ones. You like go to heaven and get angel ones, and then you.
In this video, we will be looking at the top 10 rarest Chow in the Chow Gardens for Sonic Adventure 1 and Sonic Adventure 2.
Gun means army in Japanese.
We will not be considering mods for this video, as they can make any Chow games that are unobtainium. We rose a glitched version of the shiny two-tone Chow that is exclusive to the HD releases on the Xbox 360.
No skips on this video.
And PC. These games had some issues.
Yeah, I'm curious like how many hours I put into this.
With what is commonly called a bright Chow. You should try experimenting with different types of bright Chow. Some color and type combinations look amazing. Number 8 is the Chaos Chow. They come in 3 varieties: the Angel Chaos Chow, Devil Chaos Chow, and Light Chaos Chow. You can see some of these Chow in the hardest races and highest level of Karate 2. Having a Chaos Chow in your garden is one of the
Shadow the Hedgehog, yeah. I also had Shadow the Hedgehog, or we rented it or something.
They require your Chow to have already lived 2 full lives to turn them into an immortal Chaos Chow. They are a little bit complicated to create, but if you want to learn more about them, check out my video on Chaos Chow. Only really dedicated players will have Chaos Chow in their garden.
Do we have like an actual... Yeah, okay. I want to see what the actual gameplay is like.
Very rewarding, as you can get some crazy strong Chow.
Was this like Pokemon is so big now that we have to put Pokemon in our game?
Having an S grade means your Chow will get more points each time it levels up, and therefore have a higher stat ceiling. For reference, a Chow with an E in Swim will max out at about 1,485 points, whereas an S will max out at 2,970 points. If you plan to play the modded versions of Chow Racing, next up will Chow simply...
I want to see the other mini-games.
Shiny Chow. There are many varieties.
Is this a minigame? No.
As far as I'm aware, there's
I don't remember this environment.
or exploit to speed it up either. Because this Chow requires the tiny Chow garden, it is only if you have the
This is not the only minigame, right?
Sonic Advance and a working Game
What are we buying? We're buying Phantasy Star Online.
The 2 spot is shared by 2 Chow. To obtain a Moon Chow, you have to get 30 emblems and use the Dream otherwise on other videos on the Chow Garden. I have a series that I run on the PC. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video.
Spelling.
Sure as. So now it's visual rate. There are a lot.
Chad. Chad Garden. They really just like made all of these environments just for these auto run things.
Nothing can stop.
Damn, he's cooking. He's flying.
Nothing will stop Chad
I think
reaching the end goal.
I must not have really. I'm trying to think, like, when did I learn how to like really play video games? like when did I learn how to appreciate games as games, you know what I'm saying? Rather than like as a world that I'm exploring or
All right, with that accomplished,
story or whatever.
we
Might not have been until my neighbor got that arcade cabinet. But no, it must have been. Oh, I'm remembering a shmup. Hang on. I played a shmup on the Game Boy Advance that I have no idea what it was. Oh no. Don't ask me if I played shmups. There is a shmup that I played on the Game Boy Advance. Wish I could tell you what it was. Anyway, um, okay, what else on the N64? Here's one that I played a lot of and really loved. I loved this so much more than Mario Kart. It's crazy. Again, maybe because I was more into like the exploring and stuff. And you can like explore the overworld in this game, which you couldn't do in Mario Kart 64. But I don't know. There was something about it. It also just kind of had wackier physics and stuff. Just the basic driving felt a little bit weird. And you get other stuff, not just carts. After the Lich King raiding Ulduar. Yes. That will come into the picture later. Was it more challenging? I mean, I guess when I'm doing this, I'm appreciating games as games, right? Like yeah, like you have to do these little challenges and stuff, but I guess what I'm thinking though is like whenever I was playing these kind of games, like when I played Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, I didn't care about like the ranks and the levels. I didn't care about like optimizing the levels for rank. My motivation to play games more was always about like seeing new things. If I thought it was just for a higher letter or a better letter grade or whatever, I don't think I ever would have done it. So when did that change? I'm curious. Not sure. I was visual when I was a kid. I'm not really sure about that. I think it was like I want to see new gameplay things, or I don't know. It's just like a novelty thing, I guess. But yeah, that is really annoying. Played a lot of that. Did I skip ahead to WoW? I mean, I guess visually see, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to really pin it down, but like somehow my motivation for it's like experiencing gameplay for its own sake rather than like in order to see new things. At some point I like had a realization about what I was doing. I guess I remember playing Mario Kart DS. I remember playing Mario Kart DS with my friend and trying to like optimize the course times, the ghost times or whatever. Maybe something had already switched by that point. That would have been probably when I was 12 or something. missed. I feel like I didn't talk about Kingdom Hearts enough. Should I play Kingdom Hearts 1? Or should I watch some Kingdom Hearts 1? It's just so cringe, you know, in hindsight, you know, from my current perspective, it's hard to turn off the cringe alarm in my head. But and just like what? I don't know. I wish I could like get my brain into the mode now in 2026 that would let me just like think that this is cool. Because I'm pretty sure when I was a kid, I just thought this was cool. I didn't question why it was Disney and stuff. Yeah. It's funny that makes you give up the kindness to aid friends. But yeah. This was awesome that it gave you like a really hard fight. I remember hearing that if you win 100 times against Riku, you get something. And I like kind of tried to do it, and then I got really bored. Why is it Disney? Yeah, I don't know. I still don't know. But yeah, the vibes in this game were crazy when I was a kid. The cutscenes were so epic or something.
Give me a break, Kyrie. Sorry, you.
Do they not have the? I guess they don't have like the intro cutscene with the iconic song in this. But yeah, I don't know. It's just crazy vibes. And then just like there's so many worlds, right? I think that goes with what I was just saying of like just wanting to see a bunch of new places in the game. There's just so many places in the game that are totally different. And then the combat. So he's not, this person's not doing it correctly. But you're supposed to like always stay in the air, right? You're supposed to always stay in the air when you're attacking to like, you know, cancel to not have like recovery animations or they get canceled when you hit the ground or something. So you like jump just high enough to like do a full combo in the air and then hit the ground immediately. And then you can jump again immediately. And then you're also supposed to like claw grip the controller. Like the optimal way to play this game is double claw gripping the controller, right? So that you can move around and also do the menuing with your left index finger and then move the camera around while also doing other menuing stuff with your right index finger. So like I was always like doing that kind of stuff and I thought that was awesome. That's probably formative for like some aspects of my taste. Yeah, this was the first game that I remember like getting way into like trying to 100% it. I guess because it has like the journal in the game that like tracks all of your things. This was the OG checklist slop for me. But yeah, it was just cool going to all the worlds. I think that was a big part of it. But I don't know, the game's got a lot of charm to it. It's a huge game. It's, man, they don't make them like this anymore. Okay, here's like the Colosseum stuff. Yeah. This is pretty wild. But yeah, I also love... This is... I loved that you can like bind spells to button combinations. So like you've got these like attack, magic, item, summon things, but then if you hold down R1, it becomes like a modifier on your menu, and then you have like 4 different, or it becomes a modifier on your controls, and then you have like 4 different or maybe 3 different spells that you can cast by holding like R1 plus square would be like a spell that you could like bind. You could bind a spell to that button combo, and then R1 plus whatever. You know, they later did this in like Final Fantasy 14 and stuff, but or I guess Final Fantasy 11 was on PS2, wasn't it? So maybe it was like that in Final Fantasy 11. But yeah, I remember thinking later that like games. Oh yeah, then you could fly. I forgot about this. You can like basically fly in this game in combat. That was awesome. Tarzan race levels. Tarzan race levels? Wait.
I know the nesting.
I just remember fighting the same boss like 5 times, the cheetah or whatever it is. Yeah, this was one of my favorites when I was a kid, for sure. I played a ton of this. And 2. Kingdom Hearts 2 did something that Majora's Mask does as well, where it starts you out as a different character and in an unfamiliar place, and then it eventually becomes more familiar to what the series is, but I always loved that. And I wish that... I feel like not very many games do that kind of thing. But I feel like I would still love something like that today. Yeah, we'll do, John. Catch you later, man. The Beauty and the Beast level being the end game. Yeah. I remember dying. I remember dying on one boss. I don't remember if it was Maleficent or there's like a Riku fight before Maleficent. I'm not sure. You can race in the Tarzan land down the vines. Okay. Oh, is this it? Whoops. What is this? Oh, this is just the title screen. Oh, this was horrible. I remember this being horrible. The controls for this, I remember falling down so much. It's you know what it is? It's freaking context sensitivity, man. It's freaking context sensitivity. My god. This was horrible. This is the like textbook example of the thing that Matthew Matosis is complaining about in that video. At least I think that's what the problem is. Also, the platforming in this game is so bad. There's these hippos over here they have to jump on, and you like slide off of them so easily. Or maybe I'm mixing it up with something else later in the game, but I mean, look at that. Look at that. Okay. What else? What else? I know there were a bunch of other JRPGs that I like tried to enjoy. Oh, you know what? I did play through like Final Fantasy 4, 5, and 6. I think I might have actually finished all 3 of those when they released them on the Game Boy Advance. Okay. Oh, here's another important one. Can't skip over this. It's so peak. It is so peak. I think this kind of just like scratched the N64 Zelda itch for me when I was a little bit older and when Zelda had gotten worse. Oh yeah, Chibi Robo is on Switch Online now. But yeah, it has the Majora's Mask appeal of like you can only your exploration is limited by your battery, like it's limited by the time in Majora's Mask a little bit. it's super puzzly. This game is like super puzzly, but in a way that's like hard to really think about, especially when you're a kid. Like, I replayed it a couple years ago, or a few years ago, and you can kind of be intentional about what you try to do next and how you try to make progress, but yeah, it's not easy to like figure things out intentionally. It's kind of like adventure game logic a little bit. Games where you're a small little guy in a big house. Yeah, going back to Disney's Extreme Skate Adventure like I was talking about earlier. This game also had, you know, this is a crazy hook. The chibi ranking. You're climbing the chibi rankings. Very simple number go up kind of appeal that you don't normally get in a game that's like primarily about exploration and stuff. But yeah, little guy in a big house. There's just certain things like that that kind of dominate all other concerns when you're a kid, I feel like. I mean, I think the game is well designed and all that, but like I think the main thing that makes this game great is that you're a little guy in a big house. Grow home. Oh, I've seen this game before. Do you have battery? Man, they had the is this Breath of the Wild climbing before Breath of the Wild? Or no, it's not like Nishi's working on a spiritual successor called Korobo. Is there gameplay of this? Oh wow. From series creator Skip Limited. Interesting. I mean, it looks... How do I make my brain not dismiss this instantly as just graphically and the animations and things like that looking too similar to every other 3D indie game in 2026? But yeah. I really wish I'd had Tulip as a kid. I feel like I would have really gotten into that as well. Yeah, I mean, there's just a... I'm not really judging it based on anything other than the visuals, but like... This just looks... charming? Also sounds charming. Love that guy's voice. This is classic right here. There's just so much weird stuff that happens in this game, but also this game was like really you know, bad things are happening in this game. Like serious things are happening. I guess it's the same as like Toy Story in that regard. Or I don't know, Toy Story doesn't lean into that as much, I don't think. I'm not sure. But yeah, you know, they're like the parents are like gonna get a divorce or something, and they like don't have any money and all of this kind of stuff. And like the daughter is like having a mental breakdown, and I don't know. It's like pretty serious. And then that juxtaposed with all the wacky stuff that you're doing on the micro scale, like playing with all these toys and stuff. There's something special about that. But then you do end up like having to help with those things. Man, I love this game. Okay. We'll go straight to Ulduar. Now this was a game. I kind of forgot about all the tank stuff in this, honestly. Yeah, there was actually a lot of this in hindsight. But it's not what I remembered. It's not what I remembered about it. Yeah, that was me. That is a picture of me, Warp Pipe. What are you doing in the settings, man? What even were these tank fights? Was everyone in vehicles? Everyone was in vehicles. And then if you, oh yeah, if your vehicle got destroyed, then you get knocked out and you like basically instantly die, I think. Yeah, I don't know about this. What was like the... I didn't really get into raiding until, oh, we got Asmon. We will not be clicking on that. Naxxramas speedrun. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, the positive and negative charge guy. This is just so ugly, man. Like, it is just incredibly ugly how the game always looks in these raids where people have all the add-ons, whatever you call them. Pop-ups. So many numbers on the screen, so many meters. This is extreme meter slop, right? Yeah, they made Hearthstone into an MMO. Yeah. No, I really, really am fond of WoW rating. Even still, it feels like not even like a, you know, I'm fond of this because I enjoyed it at the time. Like, it feels like there is still something there that I wish modern games could capture. Like having a really large group. And like pretty complex like boss patterns that like you have to coordinate with your group and like plan things, and yeah. Danger. This is not a great example, honestly. What was like is this the last boss? I remember doing this for the first time with a random pickup group. Well, it was like during the summer. I was like on vacation. I went to the beach with my friend and his family, and we're like up until 2 a.m. trying to finish this WoW raid. We're up until 2 a.m. trying to finish this WoW raid in this like tiny apartment, whatever, that we were staying in with my friend and his parents and me. And we were like being too loud, I guess, at like 2 a.m. and we definitely were not supposed to be staying up that late. I was probably like 14, 15. How old would I have been at Wrath of the Lich King? Anyway, his mom comes in so mad at 2 a.m, and I was in the middle of this fight, and I just stayed locked in. I didn't say anything, but she was like berating us. And my friend, I guess, covered for me well enough to make her go away and not like close my laptop. Anyway, good times. Good times. Yeah, more Symphony gaming needed. Honestly, like, even though it's completely different, like speedrunning kind of hits some of the same appeal just because it's like a collaborative thing, right? Like you can try to figure things out about glitch hunting and stuff, or you can contribute as like a runner, or you can contribute as like a router. But like it's a big collaborative effort to like improve the understanding of the game and improve the like optimization of the game in various ways. And yeah, you're constantly like talking to this pretty large group of people usually, depending on the game, obviously. But yeah, that's obviously not the same as like doing a real-time complicated challenge thing like this. And the satisfaction and the feeling when everyone is over the moon because you beat one of these things for the first time after like dozens of tries was just so hype. You do wonder how much the weight of it relies on the actual investment it took to get to that point, time or difficulty or otherwise. Well, yeah, there's definitely more weight to it because it takes time to get to that point. I should there's a devil on my shoulder right now telling me that I should get into an MMO again. Guys, please talk me out of this. But yeah, I mean, you can't cut out all of the, if you're talking about like the entire like leveling grind before you get into, you know, everything before you get into the raids at all. You can't cut all of that out because you're slowly like learning how your class works, which is really complicated, all of the abilities and stuff. And the game actually does benefit from you having all of those abilities. Maybe some of them could theoretically be cut, but like
Watch your step.
I don't know what to say. I just love this game, and that's just how it is, unfortunately. It also, you know, kind of wasted a lot of my time. And by a lot, I mean like a lot. Like hundreds of days of playtime. Play Final Fantasy 14. I couldn't get into it. I've actually tried a couple times. I tried when it first came out. The reborn version, not the original. And then I tried some years later, maybe 2018 or something.
4, 3, 2.
I think we just can't make good MMOs anymore. That's the problem. I think if a new MMO came out that was as well put together as World of Warcraft, I think I would give it a try. I would at least, like, you know, see how I feel about good MMOs in 2026. Maybe I should play Ion 2. Maybe that's what I should do. But yeah, Rabbit and Steel. Yeah, I'm trying to get back to what you were actually talking about. Like Rabbit and Steel, I think.
Might have been
okay. There's a few things. There's a few things going on. First of all, Rabbit and Steel, just on the obvious like how the gameplay works level, is not nearly as deep, and it's not nearly as compelling because like visually, it doesn't give you that much. Like here's Rabbit and Steel. It's trying to do a World of Warcraft raid kind of experience, but it's like 4-player, and the different roles are not as varied and complicated, and the attacks can't be as complicated because it's like 2D and it's all one screen like this, and just visually the attacks are not as interesting because it's all this just like lines and circles, you know. It doesn't have the art direction or the art budget that WoW has, obviously. But I think the bigger thing that relates more to what you're actually saying, Caitlin, is that is this song in the game? I don't remember this. Anyway, is that it just doesn't have a lot of different things going on. Like it's because it's basically just the combat and then this very simple like shop thing in between rounds of combat. It doesn't have that weight to it. But I don't think you have to have the time wasting to have the weight. I think the weight can come from like the fact that it's a big game in a big world, and you have, when you're doing the raid, you know that you're in this specific place in this world that is an important place, and you know that this is the culmination of all of this stuff. Like you can have all of that without having a lot of it being, without having the time wasting stuff. I think, I don't know, maybe the amount of time put into it does contribute to that feeling of weightiness, but I do think you could just have good gameplay for like 100 hours leading up to to rating, and it would feel significant. But I don't know. I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I think like I lived in that world. It's like what I was saying about Ocarina of Time. World of Warcraft was that to me when I was more like in middle school and high school. When I was a kid, like Ocarina of Time could do that for me because I had like never played a game before and never like experienced like a fantasy world like that. And I was like stuck for long periods of time on some stupid puzzle. And so I just thought about it all the time for like years. And that world became real to me in a certain way that just is not possible now. I feel like World of Warcraft was able to do that for me when I was a little older because it has these hooks, right? It has the it has the numbers go up appeal. It has, I mean, it's compelling in a JRPG kind of way, but it's also compelling in a like you're in this social experience. You're exploring a massive world where there's a lot of other people. There's all kinds of stuff going on. It's just complicated. It's you have a place in this world and you feel the scale of it in a lot of different ways. And that is hard. That is hard without just like the time. And it's hard without, this is something I've been thinking about again with since I played Vespers, but like calendar time just matters so much. Calendar time just matters so much for certain things in games. And yeah, I just wonder how you make a game that someone would want to play for months or years without doing something as extreme as what Vespers does, and without like slow drip of content being released type of stuff. I don't know. The fraction of time spent in a game is so much less than your life. So much less of your life. Well, you also just have more concerns. There's more things to be concerned about when you're an adult. You're distracted. You have to step away and cook. You have to whatever. But and just when you're playing the game, you're thinking about other things. Whereas like when you're a kid, at least for me, I had to sit through a bunch of stuff in real life where it was so boring that I was actually thinking about the game. So it is reversed right now that I'm an adult. When I'm playing a game, I'm thinking about real life shit that I have to do. Whereas when I was a kid, I was in real life thinking about the game. Yeah, game based around time and events. Yeah, there's definitely a lot that you can do there. And I was thinking about this recently because of another game that I won't say what it was. But thanks outplayed. Ever check out The Longing? We were just talking about this when I was talking about Vespers on the last stream. I tried it briefly when it came out. It wasn't quite what I expected, and I kind of bounced off of it, but I want to give it another try. I'm interested. I think now might be the time for me to get into the longing, actually. What am I trying to say here? I don't know. There's not really a clean conclusion I can draw, but like there's just something about spending a large amount of time with one thing. And this is this is why big books, this is why big like all super long novel is just often it often just feels more significant by the end because you've just spent more time with the characters and with this world and everything. And like, a TV show versus a movie, you get attached to a TV show in a different way. But yeah, it would be nice to have a game that is worth spending that amount of time with as an adult and like living with over a long period of calendar time. And yeah. I mean, like it took me a long time to get to the bottom of Syncopause. I played that game on and off for several years. And for some of those years I was playing it like almost every day, I feel like. But that's just a little bit different when it's like a pure gamey game. There's something about like being in a world, I think. Is this just escapism? But maybe there's something nice about escapism sometimes. But yeah, I think there is definitely something to what I got out of World of Warcraft and like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask when I was younger that is distinct from what I got out of playing the crossword every day and playing Syncopause or 868 back or whatever regularly. Or like doing daily challenges in Binding of Isaac or whatever it may be, Spelunky. The One Piece effect. Yeah. I need to get into One Piece, actually. I need to get back into One Piece. I read like 500 chapters when I was a kid. Yeah, Animal Crossing. I played a lot of Animal Crossing when I was a kid, too. This game was so awesome, actually. Is this stretched? Why? I hate it. One thing that was cool about this game was just that there was stuff that you don't see. And this is the thing with WoW as well. There was always something over the horizon. There was always something that you haven't gotten to yet, which is obviously part of the treadmill that they're trying to keep you on in a maybe sort of cynical way, or maybe very cynical way. But it's also just cool. Like, I kind of think like modern score chasing games and stuff like that should be trying to capture a little bit of that with like, I don't know, like imagine this is kind of a stupid, this is not gonna be a strong example, but like imagine you boot up Hyperdemon and there's like, you can like see the people who are online right now in a kind of lobby or something on the title screen before you like get into the game, and like people who, I don't know, I this feels gross because like the minimalism of Hyperdemon is so nice, but like, I don't know, I'm sure there are games that do something like this. Like, does Splatoon do something kind of like this where there's like, I mean, I guess Guilty Gear Guilty Gear has done something kind of like this in some games at least. There's like a lobby where you're walking around and then you challenge people from there. I don't know, some kind of like social thing combined with like the fact that seeing other people you're like seeing other people and you can see that those people have access to like places that you don't have access to yet because your score is not high enough or something like that, you know? That's like a very simple example, but like obviously when there's like a whole big world that you're exploring and moving around in, and there's like time sensitive stuff like in Animal Crossing, you can have things like KK Slider where you're just not gonna realistically see all of the different KK Slider songs when you play, even if you play Animal Crossing for a really long time, you know? And it's probably gonna take you a really, really long time to like collect all the fish and see everything in that kind of way as well. Street Fighter 6 tried this. Yeah, seems like a thing that fighting games have done a lot, actually. But I question whether it's been done really well, I guess. Yeah. I think World of Warcraft just gets a lot out of being, I guess MMOs in general, but World of Warcraft is the really strong example to me. It gets a lot out of just being everything. It's the everything game, right? There's combat, there's exploring a world, there's like cooperation, but there's also like solo stuff, there's PvP, there's fishing, there's, you know, leveling, like RPG kind of appeal, there's, you know, like high level difficult game kind of appeal. It's just everything. And yeah, when you have that kind of setup, there's just a lot more room to do like anything you want. There's a lot more room to, I guess there's just a lot of parts of the game that can be reflected. Like when you're walking through a city in World of Warcraft, you're seeing all of these people and you feel like you have a place in the world and you have things to aspire to because you see this guy who's got all the cool armor from doing all the raids and stuff, and he's got a cool mount and all of that. And you see all these people going around on their own errands, and yeah, it just suggests that there's a lot more game. It's a constant reminder of how much more game there is that you haven't seen yet, and it's just cool to see all this stuff happening. There's just so much that games can do that's awesome that that games just almost never do. That we just almost never see. It is really unfortunate that like maybe I don't want to be too doomer, but I feel like all the interesting games are indie now. Maybe that's a little extreme, but it would just be nice to see a big budget game that's made with passion in 2026. That's made because like the people who are making it love games and want to make the type of thing that they would want to play, and not because they're like studying the market and whatever. Ueda will save us, that is for sure. That is for sure. Expedition 33, I guess so. Best we can do is Soros. No, I mean you do see the passion in Expedition 33, for sure. I can't deny that. And I didn't hate it. I played a good 10 hours of it, and I didn't dislike it nearly as much as Twitter told me to dislike it. Anyway, we've 2 hours into the stream, we've somehow slipped and we've somehow slid into our jaded or jaded adult perspective, but we're supposed to be enjoying childhood nostalgia slop. I should probably not let this random YouTube video type things on the screen. I blame WoW. Well, yeah, I guess WoW. I don't know why I'm pausing. I guess WoW is the game that forced me to grow up because it was too good, right? It was too compulsive, too compelling, and I would have just if I had not changed myself in response to WoW, WoW would have defined the rest of my life, and I didn't want that. And I literally had this realization and decided that WoW was not going to be my life. So that's unfortunate. I do have just very mixed feelings about that whole thing. Like, that's a whole different topic. Fisher Price. Let's just scan through some. How do we do this? What else would have been coming out like? Oh, I got into like Half-Life and stuff later. I don't know. I'm kind of fading right now. I think I need to end the stream. But yeah, I feel like that was pretty good coverage of my childhood taste and where my taste in games came from. I didn't get into the beat 'em ups and stuff, but also I like don't even know what most of that stuff was. I remember Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one. I remember just a lot of like generic beat 'em ups. But yeah, I know I played like Final Fight and King of whatever and Streets of Rage, things like that. There were so many antisocial people in WoW. You mean like people who were saying offensive things and stuff? I don't think that ever really bothered me. I guess that's why I'm still on Twitter, because it doesn't bother me when people say offensive things to me. But yeah, I pretty quickly got into like when I was leveling in WoW, I was doing it like with friends. But then once I was like max level, I pretty quickly got into like a serious rating guild where people had to be like reasonably polite and everything. Binding of Isaac, that's probably like the end of my like formative era of games is when I got into Binding of Isaac. I feel like that was surprisingly formative for me despite like how old I was when I played it. Cuz this is like I'm almost 18 now, I guess. Is that right? I guess so. There's a kind of fantasy of independence that can only be fulfilled in a virtual world that actually has other players. That's a really interesting point. I do remember not wanting to like bother trying to find randos and having to do like group quests that are like meant for like a 3-person group and like figuring out the strategy to use all of my abilities, including my like 1 hour long cooldowns and like cheesy strats where you kite the enemy around like to get it stuck on a building and all of this kind of stuff, like to do those kind of things solo. And that was interesting and maybe related. I feel like there's got to be like a couple big things I'm missing from like mid 2000s. I mean, I did play a lot of this stuff, but I don't know how formative it was really. By this point, I think I was transitioning into the I'm not actually excited about video games anymore, but I'm like coasting on the momentum and like feeling like I should enjoy video games kind of phase. Like I played a lot of Pokemon Platinum, but I wasn't like that excited about it compared to like when I played the earlier Pokemon games. I guess I was excited about Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead was cool. The multiplayer was unlike anything I had played before. But like Brawl versus Melee, I guess I was a little bit excited about Brawl. I'm saying that a little too early. Let's say like 2010. I don't know. There's just a slow slip into like, and this is probably part of why I got so into WoW was because like I was trying to still be the console gamer that I was before and like really excited about Nintendo games and just the big release games of every year. But I was getting less and less excited about it because like you kind of have seen it all after a certain point. And I was already starting to feel kind of like that, even though there were plenty of like if I'd played a Resident Evil game at the time, that would have been fresh to me. Skate was really cool though. Skate was really cool. The I loved the controls being different. I think I just by default loved unique controls. Oh yeah, this is when Dark Souls came out, so that definitely like or is this when yeah. Yeah, like Demon Souls and Dark Souls definitely uh rejuvenated my love for games that were not World of Warcraft. I need to play Mooncat. I from doing something that feels like it's balanced for multiplayer by yourself. Is that related to like speed running? You're just doing something that's not intended. Yeah, yeah. I've heard about Mooncat. I know what it is vaguely, but I just haven't dove into UFO 50 yet. Anyway, I was making a point, but I think my brain is too tired at this point. Any any other formative games for you guys? What are the formative games? Okay, what are the formative games for Zoomers or for like kids these days? What's like the equivalent of me if I grew up like 15 years later? Okay, 15 years later, so that's born in 2008. So I'm 18 now. Okay. So born in 2008. So I'm playing game let's say I'm getting into games when I'm like 4. So 2012. So that's like definitely Minecraft from the start, right? Yeah, yeah. Undertale, I would guess. Minecraft, Terraria. I think Born in 2008 is a little bit late for some of these, like Terraria. Okay, maybe I'll push it back. Let's say like 2004, 2006, 20 years old now. But yeah, probably like starting out getting into Minecraft, Roblox, but you know, maybe like Among Us. Wait, when did Among Us come out? No, that's later. That's later. 2018. Minecraft, Roblox, maybe they have like a maybe their parents have like a Nintendo, I guess they would have like a Wii. Or wait, Switch? Yeah, they would have like a Wii. So they'd play like Wii Sports and like new Super Mario Bros and stuff. Mario Galaxy. I guess my kid neighbors are No, they're a little older. They're a little older. Minecraft is a surprising force on your taste in games in weird ways, born in 94. Yeah, I bounced off it so hard. I bounced off it so hard when I tried it back in like 2011 or whatever. Okay. That's when you were born, 2006? That's crazy. Yume Nikki, that's a surprising formative game. I was too scared of the crafting is what I was too scared of. But yeah, then I guess at some point you like get on Steam and play like Hades. Binding of Isaac? No, Binding of Isaac feels a little more millennial. Hollow Knight? I mean, I get look, we're looking at this page for a reason. At some point Breath of the Wild comes out when you're like a teenager and it's the greatest game of all time until you realize it actually sucks. Undertale, obviously Undertale. How do these people, I guess then they get into like they get into arcade games eventually because of Mark. Bait. What's that? Bait 2005? What? This is not familiar to me at all. Love this. Is this Exanima? Sneaky gel right there. Oh, yeah, mobile games, right. Geometry Dash. Yeah. Forgot about that. They all got iPads. I guess I'm trying to imagine, though, a kid who has an above average attention span or something. Like, has whatever qualities it takes to, like, get into video games as deeply as I got into them as a kid and, like, play a lot of different stuff. I don't know what exactly question I'm trying to ask here. I'm trying to ask what I'm trying to ask is if I had been born 13 years later and what was the path for me to end up similarly into games as I am in real life if I had been born like 13 years later or something. Anyway, skip forward to 2026 and they're discovering Jack Crawford on YouTube and getting into Silv Slop and Puzzle Slop and Proc Gen Slop. And we love to see it. This looks terrible, by the way. Imagine if I were born 100 years earlier. 100 years. If I was born in 1893. Dog, I don't know. They didn't do anything. They didn't do anything back then.
Good day.
You are refreshed.
Think of some other stuff. I know there were like top-down games that I played on PC that I left out of my whatever I just did. Kids these days are all guided toward the fandom funnel. Even if they are mentally stable and I guess everything's just so online. Yeah. Here's the thing that I can't really relate to as a as a millennial, everything's more online now, and everything's more like you don't have like I grew up in a neighborhood where there were like a bunch of kids, right? And so even outside of school, I was like hanging out with other kids all the time. But from what I've heard, like a lot of people, increasingly, a lot of like people 10 or 15 years younger than me, they like grow up in a neighborhood where there's like mostly older people. There's not like, you know, they're not like playing games outside on their street all the time. And that kind of changes things in terms of like like when you're online, you're more so like looking for friends online, trying to trying to get into communities online rather than just being online to like find interesting stuff, like how I like, you know, played games. Like when I was on my computer, it was like an extra thing in my life that wasn't trying to meet any of my basic needs, like need for friendship and stuff, you know? So I got into games without that really being a factor, but I feel like for a lot of younger people, it's like they get into games partially for like a social scene or like the fandom for like social reasons. You know, you guys, you get what I'm saying. I'm not explaining it very well. But yeah. Okay, we got the Dawn route. Let's see what the Dawn route is, because Dawn has pretty based taste, it seems. Path started with Mario Kart Wii. Okay. Yeah, I didn't think about that as a Wii game, but that makes a lot of sense. Bit Trip, Isaac, Minecraft. Things kind of changed quickly after I played The Witness and Steven's Sausage Roll, yeah. Geometry Dash 2, I guess. How did you even discover The Witness and Steven's Sausage Roll, though? I mean, I guess everyone discovers The Witness before Steven's Sausage Roll and discovers Steven's Sausage Roll because of Jonathan Blow or something. That's good to know, though. That's interesting. Is it normal to have your taste in video games develop when you're an adult? Most of the stuff I played in teen years was terrible. I mean, my taste definitely changed when I played The Witness when I was 21 or something. Yeah, I mean, it changed a lot past that point, for sure. I mean, you're just different when you're an adult. You're a different person, and you need different things. Like the stuff that I think the stuff that I played as a kid was mostly pretty good for a kid. Like it was fine, at least, as like stuff for a kid. But you know, when you grow up, you're just looking for different stuff. Your brain works differently. You are a different person. But yeah, I mean, my taste is still changing now, honestly. Yeah, I feel like Vespers. I played Vespers this year and it kind of changed my brain. Like playing Sneckbird, getting really into Sneckbird and Theta. The things that I kind of realized about what I'm looking for in puzzle design from like playing those games made me realize some stuff about my taste. And my taste wasn't like that even like a few years ago. I think just like getting better at puzzle solving changed my taste in that way. In a way that's kind of unfortunate because no one's gonna make puzzles for me now. My taste in puzzles is too unhinged now, I think. From a Spanish streamer and top 10 super difficult games. Hell yeah. Top 10 super difficult games, The Witness. I mean, yeah. As far as relatively mainstream games go, that makes a lot of sense. That it is difficult. It's not an easy game. I have played the Golem. I'm not crazy about it. I kind of need the new... I kind of need the... new ideas being explored, you know? The Golem is a little bit too... Sokoban. but I did play it all the way through. And I actually want to try that fan level pack that someone made that's supposed to be even way harder. But yeah, it was alright. But yeah, I do like the puzzle design for the most part. Okay, you went Roblox TF2. Interesting. CS:GO, Osu, Life is Strange. Okay, that's random. Undertale, Transistor, also random. Baba Is You, Opus Magnum. That does not feel like a normal route, but I mean, I can see the point where you got on Steam. I guess you got on Steam for TF2 though. Forgot to mention Dark Souls and the Fallout games.
Will you tempt fate?
Why are we watching so much Fate 2005? Anyway, yeah. Let me try to just lay out my full route. As far as like the big important stuff. Link's Awakening, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask. I guess Mario 64 is important. It's hard to know what to include. That's like top tier important. But I guess I can skip to like Chibi Robo and like the beat 'em ups and stuff all the arcade games that I played. Yo, I forgot a super formative game. Is the original on the Atari? Is this the one that I played? Is there just like an arcade version? This is the version I played. This game is awesome. Here's the gameplay. Wait, is this just a preview? Yeah, it's just a preview. Yeah, so the first... Is it just going to show the... What's it called? The tracked mode? Okay, here we go. I wonder if this was an inspiration for co-op. I think I've heard Bennett Foddy mention this game before, actually. Here's the gameplay. You have different events that you're going through in order. This is the first event, 100-meter dash. The way that this works is you mash one button. You mash one button as hard as you can to go as fast as you can. And that's the game. Okay. And then the next level is the long jump. Here what you do is you mash one button as hard as you can to go as fast as you can, and then you press another button to jump at the last second, and you like hold it down to control your trajectory. Wait, there's 3 tries for the long jump apparently. Similarly, we're running. I don't remember exactly how the controls worked for that one, but anyway, they're all pretty similar. Look, this is 1983, okay? But this was low-key peak. Even when I played it when I was like, I don't know, I was probably like 12 when my neighbor got that arcade machine. And yo, he is zooming. He's absolutely zooming. Yeah, there was just something about, again, I think this goes back to the Kingdom Hearts thing. Like I always found like the physical, and this you still see this in my taste today, where I'm more interested in RTA speedruns than I am in TAS. Like I'm more interested in human speedruns than I am in TAS's. And it's because the physical layer and like how it actually works in a human's brain is like part of what's interesting to me. And how it actually works in a human's brain, and also how it works in a human's hands and like and arm and body, and like the way that I had to like experiment with like, you know, leaning over the arcade cabinet a different way to like mash faster, and like locking up my different parts of my arm to like, you know, how exactly I'm going to do this mash optimally. Yeah. Yeah, I did play some browser games kind of like this as well, but this was the pinnacle. This was so peak. And just trying to do a tiny bit better. And yeah, experimenting with like using two fingers on the same button and stuff like that. Like, I just loved stuff like that. Which kind of goes back to what I was saying about Kingdom Hearts with like claw gripping the controller was super interesting to me. But this game was like actually all about that kind of thing. Yeah, I still feel like there's room for games to do interesting stuff in this kind of way. I wonder if I'm not sure if I ever got to the end. Oh, I guess that is the end. Yeah, I think I did get to the end. Yeah, because I remember all these. But I guess VR is one obvious place where there's probably room for that kind of thing. But also, you know, when I speedran Majora's Mask, I had to do. You can find this on my The Sausage YouTube channel. You can find a video of me showing how I mash the control stick for this one trick. It's like you have to precisely mash the control stick. And I also explained this when I did my GDQ run, which you can also find. But like, you have to mash the control stick like very precisely so that it doesn't move to the sides at all. It's going from neutral to down and back and forth like that. But you have to mash it like really fast, but also like really carefully. And that was very interesting to learn and figure out how to do. And then also just like Majora's Mask speedruns have like a lot of precise tilts of the control stick. And like, it's interesting. It's interesting how the same exact input, the same exact like kind of thing that you need to do in the game can be optimally done different ways at different times, like depending on the context. Like in Majora's Mask, there would be times when I would want to like wedge my thumb. Let me see if I can show this. Like this plugged in. Wedge my thumb like I can't. This is so hard. It's so hard to show. Like wedge a thumb onto like from the side of the stick like this, and like do that and hold it like that, because that makes it easier to hold the angle, right? But then there are other times when I would have to like hold it from above so that my hand would be like ready to do a different thing right after that or something like that. I don't know. I'm not doing a very good job explaining this again, but like there's just all kinds of stuff that can get super interesting with like making you do weird stuff physically on the controller. Making you grip the controller different ways at different times, and I don't know. A game that turns you into a fighter pilot, isn't that Ace Combat? I don't know, I haven't played it actually. Oh yeah, Beautiful Joe was fairly formative to me. I liked it a lot when I was a kid. I didn't really understand it. I was not very good at it. I didn't get to like the highest difficulty, or I didn't. What is it? There's kids, adults. Isn't there something else? And then there's the max difficulty? I can't remember. Maybe I got to the second highest difficulty. But yeah, I didn't really understand how to learn a Kamiya game back then. It's still unintuitive to me, even in 2026, learning Kamiya games. I have to like. Feels like I have to try hard to do the type of experimentation and stuff that's required. It feels unfun to me. But yeah, Beautiful Joe was just, maybe that was also kind of me getting into more difficult action games, more arcadey stuff. I don't know. Any other Any other games that I need to talk about? Have I heard of Fly Heck? He is a button mashing wizard. Maybe? Not sure. Chips Challenge? I played Chips Challenge for the first time when I was like 20 something, maybe 28 or something. And I thought it was so garbage. Yeah, I didn't play any of those like Windows games back in the day. Yeah, Misa played all these crazy bad JRPGs that I haven't heard of. What's that one? What's that one with like time travel that you were telling me about? Fantasia? What? What is it? It's like something Fantasia. PS2 Fantasia. Ephemeral Fantasia. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, let's not play Ephemeral Fantasia as the first video that comes up. Yeah. This game looks horrible. But it actually does kind of sound interesting when Misa described it to me, like the overall structure of the game. I'm not even getting a sense of this. Okay, let me look up his button mashing technique. What's his name? Fly Heck Track Field. I mean, the ideal button mashing is just like, oh yeah. It's like 8 fingers. Yeah. I have seen this before. This is really hard to do well. I guess he's doing. Yeah. That is like, it takes a lot of practice to do that smoothly. But yeah, that's cool. Anyway, okay, that's enough. I will go back through and make my list that I was working on. I wonder just like how many games in total I played as a kid. Oh, The Hobbit for GameCube. Anyone else play that garbage? Okay. I gotta be done. Feel free to continue the conversation without me. How's working on the videos going? I got a good bit of writing done this week. Also, part of why I'm compiling this list of games I played as a kid is for a video. But I'm trying to working on a couple more kind of high effort videos. Hopefully, yeah. I don't know. I want them to be good. So I'm having to kind of work through some ideas in the writing and like write through the same topic multiple times. So yeah. Hopefully I'm not gonna say dates. It'll just be a nice surprise when they happen. But they're not going to be like, don't expect like Matthew Matosis level of polish. I just do not want to work on a video for that long, you know? I want to like get a bunch of ideas out faster than that. So they're going to be not too much production than like my streams, but you know, more dense, more tight, and a little more editing. Obviously. Okay. Thank you for watching. Thank you for indulging in some nostalgia slop with me. See you next time. Bye-bye.